Live Talk with Leader Brad.
Hey everybody, it's Benita. Ooh, we're back. All right, so I've been working on this for quite some time. I finally got everybody in. Everything's hooked up right. And we are now live streaming across 9 different platforms simultaneously. All right, so let me start by saying good evening to Facebook, of course. Good evening to Live Talk with Benita Bradley Facebook group. Good evening to 40 and above, Ready for Love Facebook group. Good evening to Periscope Twitter, which I think now is X. Good evening to my YouTube channel. You guys are doing great things. We're almost at the 500 subscriber mark on my YouTube channel. I need to get to 1,000. Okay, my goal is to get to 1,000 before the end of October, and I'll tell you why at a later time. But I need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so I can start getting paid. Okay. We're also on Twitch. If you're a gamer, good evening to you all. We're also live on, let me bring them in. We're live on Instagram. Good evening, Instagram. And we're also taping for TikTok. So guys, remember on TikTok, I'm not live there yet. So I need probably about 500 more followers on TikTok to go live. So what I have to do with TikTok, I have to tape their segments in increments of 10 minutes each. So you'll see me stopping and accommodating for that. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is make sure everyone can hear me and everyone can see me. I need to make sure everyone can hear me and everyone can see me. I need to make sure my lighting is good. I need to make sure you can hear my voice. So when you join, just let me know. Yes, I can hear you. I'm live in the comments with everybody. So please, ma'am, please, sir, just let me know. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, your lighting is good. No, I can't hear you. Adjust your lighting or whatever I need to do. So just tell me that. Instagram, let me know if you can see me and hear me, okay? TikTok, you don't have to worry about that because yours is going to be pre-recorded anyhow. So you guys don't have to worry about that. But everybody else, just let me know if my lighting is good. And sorry. Hold on. But like I said, I'm live in the comments with everyone, so I can see all of your comments simultaneously. All right, so listen. this is kind of a hard subject for me to talk about, but I've been playing with it for a long time. And I wanted to just give like a little introduction to what I'm going to talk about. And I hope you all, I know it may seem a bit controversy to some people. Some people may agree, some may disagree, and we all have that right. Everybody has that right to have their opinion. Some you may agree with me, some you may not agree with me, and you absolutely have that right. Okay, you absolutely have that right. But I'm just going to share with you something that I think about, and something I was been talking to my daughter about. And as you can see, the title of the topic of what we're going to be discussing is that women need leadership. Now, I don't want you to automatically think that you know where I'm going with this, because you may or may not know. But this is my personal thoughts. I'm open to any suggestions. This is just the way I believe about certain things, okay? So when I say that women need leadership, it's kind of self-explanatory. I think women need leadership. Even strong women need leadership, because oftentimes we find ourselves in situations that we can't handle, maybe physically, maybe mentally, maybe financially, maybe emotionally, psychologically, just different things, that may come at us in life that we're not automatically equipped to handle, because we are women. I do want to preference this, that I'm not trying to say women are weak. I'm not trying to say that if women don't have a man in their life, then something's missing, or anything of that effect. I'm just saying that having that male leadership, I think, will a lot of times save us from going through a lot of things that we go through as women, particularly Black women, in today's society. And because I am pro-Black does not mean I'm anti anything else. I have to speak to who I am. And at 56 years of age, I find it difficult sometimes to maneuver through the things that I have to go through as a single woman versus when I have someone of the male persuasion that I can talk to, lean on, run things by, get an opinion on. Now, you may not have to have that. You may not have to. And I'm not saying everybody. All women don't have to have that. Let me just put a pin there. I'm not saying all women have to have that, because I can't speak for all women, because I don't know all women. I'm just saying that for me, having male leadership in my life has always been something that I've always had. I was raised in a 2-parent home. I've had brothers. I still have brothers, of course, elder brothers. I've been married. For a long time, I was married. Fresh out of high school, I don't advise anybody to do that. 19, married. I don't advise that. Um, but I've always had male leadership. Um, but these past 12, maybe 12 years, I have not had that. And it's been interesting watching myself maneuver through life and maneuver through life dealing with the things I've had to deal with. Of course, those of you that are my regular followers, you guys are well aware of the fact that, I have 2 different types of brain tumors. And those were diagnosed in 2012 after, of course, having strokes or whatever. I do think that if I had that male leadership in my life, I'm not suggesting that my health would be different. What I'm suggesting is that the mental weight of it all and the financial weight of it all would not be so devastating on me right now. That's the point I'm getting to. Because a lot of times we won't mention the fact that, this is too much, because we're so prone and we're so conditioned to just automatically saying, well, the Bible says he won't put no more on you than you can bear. But listen, there comes a time, 1 second, part 2, there comes a time that it does get to be overwhelming. I'm only speaking for me, okay? Some of you women may be able to identify, some can't, okay? We're not going to split the baby in half tonight, okay? I'm just going to talk about for me. For me, the one thing that I noticed that I really need, because I'm used to having that. Even when I was single and connected to good leadership, good spiritual leadership, but lately, these last few years of having to go through surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery, my daughter dying, my mom dying, surgery and more surgery and more surgery, I really just kind of feel like if I did have that male leadership, it wouldn't feel so heavy, so weighty on me. And again, ladies, I'm not suggesting that I can only make it through these things with a man. That's not what I'm saying. However, I am saying that because of the way I was raised, okay, because of what I'm accustomed to, no matter how long it's been since I've had that in my life, but because of what I'm accustomed to, that's something I can feel missing in my life, if you will. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not afraid to discuss it, because sometimes we make everything taboo in our community and in our cultures. We make everything, we stigmatize everything. We make everything, oh, you shouldn't talk about that. We make everything such a shame and a shamble, until nobody talks about anything, but yet everybody want to run around as if we got it all together, when in fact we don't have it together because we're not coming together, okay? And I think the first thing of coming together, we have to admit that we even need each other. Women are running around now, oh, I don't need a man. Men are running around, I don't need a woman. Well, y'all got to go take that up with God, because apparently God thought we needed one another. So, I mean, if you all are going to say that God was wrong in his summation of mankind and what man needed when he created woman, then that's your deal. I'm not going to get involved with that. Okay. For me, I need leadership, not just any leadership. Let me make that clear. Let me make that abundantly clear. I don't need just any leadership. My dad was one of the most intelligent men I've ever known. My brothers are, in my mind, the most intelligent men. Caring, giving, humble, educated, well-traveled. I mean, they're everything. They would check every box that a woman would need. You know, very responsible. They're open-minded. They're respectful. You know, they take care of home. They take care of their families. You know, after my dad died, my two elder brothers took care of my mother until the day she died. You know, my eldest brother, and well, I only have two brothers left. My other brother, he died from renal failure. They helped take care of me, you know, when I need something done. I just sit aside till my eldest brother come up to visit. And then instead of a honey to-do list, I give him my brother to-do list. You know, he'll come, when he got the Ring camera, installed it. I had to get the blackout curtains because of my migraines. And I needed one of those heavy rods, but I couldn't put the rod up. So my brother came and put the rod up for me. You know, whenever I need something like that done, I'll just put it aside until he says he's coming. And then when he gets here, he does whatever I need doing around the house. And, but that's what I'm used to. I'm used to seeing those type of examples. They're good husbands, they're good fathers, they're good providers, they're A1 protectors. Let me tell you something, you can't get any more safe than when you're with my brothers. I'm telling you, those guys are top notch. Those guys are top notch, trust me. And so that's what I'm used to. You know, that's how I was raised, and that's what I'm used to. And so not having that lately, these past, I'm going to say 12 years of my life, is really starting to kind of weigh on me a bit, take a toll on me, if you will. You know, at first I didn't notice what was missing because I was just busy doing my thing, getting, hustle, making this happen, making that happen. But then when the surgeries start happening, you know, back to back, brain surgeries, and oh my God, my daughter told me the other day, she was like, Mom, I think you've had almost 10 surgeries within the last 5 years or so. You know, she's probably right. That does also include radiation to my brain. And I was teasing my doctor one time, and I said, you know, I feel like you guys kind of fried my brain. You know, she goes, well, technically, that is what happened, you know. And so I was making a joke, you know, but she said, technically, that is kind of what happened. And so through all of these things, you know, it just hit me probably maybe the last 2 to 3 years or so. I just started feeling like I'm missing something, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And of course, the first thing to come to my mind, okay, I need to pray more. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. No, what I'm missing is the leadership. I'm missing male leadership in my life because that's how I was raised. That's what I'm used to. That's when I thrive, you know. And women don't beat me up for this. I'm just talking about me. Some of you can rock with me, some of you can't. And we good with that. That's good, you know. But I'm talking about me and women that are like me, women that were raised, you know, by a mother and a father. My father had a strong hand in raising us, you know. Um, I mean, when I think about everything that I've gone through, you know, how many times I saw death, you know, I often ask God each year when it starts getting close to the end of each year. I ask God, okay, God, is this going to be the year that, you know, you send me a companion, you know, or that you allow me to meet someone or what have you. Um, and honestly, God doesn't say yes or no. He doesn't say yes or no. You know, you guys might say he answers you yes or no. He doesn't talk to me like that. Okay. He never has. He never answered me just plain yes or no. You know, it's always been a process and then the answer. 1 second. Part 3. So he's never just came out and say, yeah, Benita, this is going to be the year, you know. Now, when I talk about male leadership, let me explain what I mean so that the female committee won't um, excommunicate me. When I talk about male leadership, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm talking about having someone there with you that will help you make decisions and help you make the best decision for that time, how to handle something, how to prepare for something. Is this the right time to do that? You know, things of that nature. Well, you might say, well, you can figure that out on your own. And I have figured it out on my own. However, ladies, we don't have to. You know, we really don't. Let's be honest. Some of us, you know, we talk about single by choice and all that kind of stuff, whatever. You know, some stuff we just don't have to do alone. Okay, I'm just going to say that and I'll leave my other thought for another time. Some stuff we don't have to do alone, you know, and I often wonder, how come all of this didn't happen when I was married for 20 years? Why now? You know, I talk to God. People say, well, you don't question God. Yes, I do. If I don't talk to God, if I don't question God, who else? There's nobody that knows me like God knows me. So yes, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him questions. And so I asked him, why now? How come this didn't happen when I was married? That he did answer. And I understood completely the answer he gave me. And it made absolute sense to me. Don't forget, while I'm on live, you can send stars. Stars turn into monies. That's a good way to promote the show, to help support the show, okay? So I understand why he didn't allow me to go through all the surgeries and the strokes and all of that while I was married. Because I believe in having male leadership, I believe in having the right male leadership. Let me qualify that, because I don't want you guys to think that you know, just let anybody willingly come come be over your life. And that's not what I'm talking about. Even if you have a good guy friend, as long as he's not, married or whatever, and it does not interfere with something he has going on, I just think it's important that women, single women in particular, have some form of male leadership in their lives. And it can't always be your pastor, particularly if your pastor is a married man. Some of you want your pastor to be your pastor, your husband, your boyfriend, your daddy, your best friend. Your pastor can't be all of that to you. Okay. He just can't. He can't. He has a wife, he has a family. He just can't be all of that to you. Find you somebody else to lean on, that can give you that male leadership, that advice, that confidence you need to go forward and accomplish everything you're trying to do. So when I talk about women needing male leadership, listen, ladies, it's not a bad thing. I'm not minimizing, the I am strong, I am woman, hear me roar. I'm not minimizing any of that. But what I'm saying is simple. For me, I have been trying to figure out, Lord, why do I still feel this, like something's missing? I go through these surgeries, I come out, sometimes my biggest fear is not that the surgeons will make a mistake, but waking up from the anesthesia, especially after, people going there poking around in your brain and then you have to go through the healing process, Sometimes, particularly if you've had strokes and other things of that nature, there could be permanent damage to the brain, like I have. I have permanent damage to my brain in certain areas from the strokes. And so for me, ladies, okay, for me, that male leadership role is what I'm missing. Now, I've had many that thought that they could fit the bill, but they didn't. Because I was raised a certain way, how can I put this? You have to be of a certain when I say male leadership, I'm not just talking about any male. No, not any male won't do. No. You have to be, leadership material, because a lot of times we may not want to admit it, but as Black women, y'all, we tired. We're tired. And I know some women say, oh, don't speak for me. I ain't no man. I don't know. Okay, girl, that's you. That's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you. Who to sock it to, That's you. That's your thing. For me, and for some of my friends that I know for sure that think like I do, not that they have to, but from our conversations, I know that they do. Male leadership is important to us. It's very important to us. And it's a factor that when we don't have it, everything we do, it's like we have to exert 10 times their energy to do it. Versus if we had that male leadership in our life, we would not have to exert as much energy, and that's how come we become overthinkers, because we always got to think about our next move as women, whereas men are naturally strategic. Y'all might not want to give men their props, but men are naturally strategic. Women are we're survivors. We're survivors because we have to a lot of times. But our strategies come from having male leadership. And I know this is not a popular topic, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to talk about it, and I'm probably going to talk about it some more. Because what I do know, that if I'm tired, and I know I've held my own through this entire journey, 12 years now. I was first diagnosed with the first brain tumor, and when I first started having strokes in July 2012. July 2012. And then I had another stroke February 2015. After that, I came back to Atlanta because where I was living in Warner Robins, they didn't have a lot of specialists there. So I came back to Atlanta so I could get the medical care that I needed. And when I got here, the first surgeon I saw, immediately he was like, okay, I see the problem. You don't have just one thing going on. You have two different types of brain tumors attacking your brain at one time. So me not understanding the severity of what he was saying, I said, well, can we just, do a 2-for, 2-for-1 kind of deal? You go in there, you fix one problem, you fix the other one. He says, no, we can't, I could not ethically do that. Number one. Number two, that's not safe to do. Number three, it decreases your odds of survival. So he went through this whole list. So I feel like that was in 2016. So by December 2016, I was having my first brain surgery. I had a lot of people there, a lot of support there. So I really didn't feel the absence of that male leadership, because I had friends, I had family there, you know, um, male and female friends, you know. So I didn't feel that absence at that point. It wasn't until after my daughter died. She died March 31st, 2018. Just died suddenly. 1 minute she was sitting there talking to me, and 12 hours later she was pronounced dead. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's something I don't know if I'll ever get over. You know, November is hard for me because it's her birthday month. March is hard for me. That's the month she died. April is hard for me. That's the month we buried her. You know, those are months that are hard for me, you know. But one thing I do know, if I had that male leadership there, I'm not saying that he would completely take away those difficult times or difficult moments. What I do believe that he would be able to guide me safely through them. So whereas on my own now, I get stuck in my grief. My grief then turns into depression. And so I believe, this is just me, I believe that male leadership component would be able to carry me through those moments that I'm missing my daughter. You know, those hard moments, like I said, March, April, and November, those hard times where I'm shut down, I'm shut in. You say, what? You said 2018, it's been 5 years. Yes, but listen, time is not working on that. Time ain't doing nothing for me, honey. You know, she was my firstborn. I love her and I miss her, period. You know, and I don't think it's, no one's going to tell me, oh, you need to let that go. It's time to start grieving. No, I just wish that there was someone to help guide me through the grief, if that makes sense to you. And I do believe that men are more equipped to handle certain things. I just believe that. I believe that they're more equipped to handle certain things. And I also believe that we need them. Let me speak for myself. I need male leadership in order to make what I go through smoother, easier to handle. I'm not going to say we, I'm only going to say me, okay? Because I can feel it in the airways, you know. Like I said, this may not be a popular topic, and it's okay. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm trying to be heard. There's a difference, okay? So I saw someone write something. I can't find it now. Let's go over here and see if it's over here. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Gerald. God bless you. I thought I saw something over there. Let me pull these comments up over here. Okay, hold on. I'm missing a lot of comments over here. Hold on, guys. Okay. Why aren't the comments coming up over here? Okay. Gerald Hightower. It's ordained of God. Thank you, Bishop. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. It's a plus for a woman to have a good man to lead and help you. Two are better than one. A man should want a woman, and a woman should want a man in their life. Women are better strategists than men in relationships, in my opinion. Yeah, in relationships, I agree with you. In relationships, yeah. But when it comes to the day-to-day of life, the day-to-day of handling things, I think men are just naturally strategic, you know. In relationships, I think men and women sometimes are equally strategic, because if not, then you're going to have that imbalance in there. You're going to have one always trying to do more than the other. And I would prefer to have someone that brings balance more than, anything else. So, but it is a very interesting point. For me, my strategy works best with strong leadership, if that makes sense to anybody. For me, my strategies work best with strong leadership. You give me a strong leader, listen, I'm good. I think that if sometimes I feel I have mixed emotions about the position I'm in right now. I don't know why I'm not seeing you guys. You guys got a lot of comments over here. I don't know why they're not coming up on this screen. I'm gonna keep this screen up then, so I can see your comments, because you guys got good comments over here, good input. So if anybody's up and you want to come on with me, you're more than welcome. Just send me a request and I'll bring you up on live with me. I just wanted to come on and share my thoughts. I was talking to my daughter today, and I just want to come and share my thoughts with you guys. But I think for me, if I had that, strong male leadership, I think that perhaps I would not feel so burdened, because if you just put yourself in my shoes for a moment, I know that's difficult for a lot of people to do, because a lot of people couldn't fathom having to live with 2 different types of brain tumors. And I know people say, well, we're going to pray for a miracle. God can dissolve it. People call me and tell me, well, one of my church members or somebody I know had a brain tumor, God dissolved it, and I rejoice with those that rejoice. However, that's not my plight. My plight is that he made me the miracle so that I am here to walk upon the earth as a living testimony. All of the people that I know, literally, all of the people that I know that have had the same type of brain tumor in the same place, they're all dead. That's no cap, as they say, no lie, no over exaggeration. They're all dead. There are days I don't know why God killed me here. you know. Um, but then there are days that I'm thankful that he has kept me. So I am the miracle, you know. Um, my doctor calls me a phenomenon, you know. Um, so for me, I think having male leadership, um, I don't know, to me, it brings order, it brings um, more peace, it brings more direction, it brings more strength. And I'm not saying, let me be clear, women, I'm not saying that you don't have all of those things if you don't have a male leader in your life, okay? Let me be clear on that. I'm saying for me, you know, I've come to realize that what I need is male leadership. And a lot of women that I've spoken to would love to have that male leadership. You know, Black women are tired. You all think that all Black women like running around talking about I'm strong, I'm independent. Not me and my girlfriends. We don't talk like that. I don't know how you and your girlfriends talk, ladies, but me and my girlfriends, we don't talk like that. You know, we talk like, Lord, please, you know, send somebody with good sense, you know, that love you, that knows how to lead effectively, you know, so we can let go the reins and turn it over, you know. That's how me and my girlfriends talk. We don't sit around talk about, oh, well, I don't need, you know, we don't get involved with all that kind of stuff. Because number one, it's just not an intelligent conversation. Just let me say that. This is just how I feel. It's not intelligent conversation for a bunch of women to get together, sit around talking about how much we don't need men. That's not intelligent conversation. The same goes for men that sit around talking about they don't need women. That's not intelligent conversation. It yields nothing. Doesn't yield peace. It doesn't yield unity. It doesn't yield marriage. It doesn't yield commitment. It doesn't yield community. It yields nothing to sit around and talk about how much we don't need each other. Okay, so to me, that's a useless conversation. I don't even know how to change a tire. I'm 56 years old. I don't want to know how to change. Why I need to learn how to change a tire? As long as I got roadside assistance, I'm not changing no tire. And guess who they gonna send when they seeing somebody for roadside assistance? A man. Okay, they gonna send a man. So I'm not going to try to persuade anybody to get out of that I don't need a man mentality. That's your deal. That's your deal. You know, for me, I've come to realize exactly what it is that's missing. And it's having that male leadership in my life. I think that if I had that, like I was sharing with my daughter today, I said to her, you know, if I had that male leadership in my life, two areas of my life that I don't overly expose are areas of the two areas that this 12-year journey has really impacted me the most is mentally and financially, but not necessarily in that order. And I was sharing with my daughter that if I had that male leadership, um, mentally it wouldn't be as hard, and certainly financially it wouldn't be as heavy, you know. Um, and the thing about that is I've carried my load for 12 years. 12 years. I look around and I'm proud of the things I've accomplished. You know, um, I look at all the accolades, all that kind of stuff. I look at that. All of these things I did within these past 12 years. You know, I published 4 books. They're on Amazon. Look it up by my name. You can look up Pastor Benita Bradley or Pastor Benita Camellia Bradley. But I've since retired from pastoring. So I've done a lot. I've done a lot in these past 12 years, and I've done it all without male leadership. And I guess you're saying, so then if you've done all of that and you have all this accomplished, then why would you need male leadership? Well, you know how you can pull a muscle or something, but you don't know you pulled it until you stop or sit down or something, you know. It's kind of like that, you know. I know how to go and 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 go so much until I was too busy to realize what I was missing. And it wasn't until I slowed down, wasn't until I slowed down. Once I slowed down, that's when I start realizing, yeah, you've accomplished a lot. Yeah, you've done a lot. But you've done it all on your own. And when I was praying about some things, I was like, so why do I feel like I'm missing something? You know, what is it that I feel like I'm missing? You know, where's that missing component? Where's that feeling coming from? You know, and that's what it was. It was not having that male leadership in my life. You know, and again, not just any male will do. You know, I know women, we can outthink a man any day of the week. But when it comes to having to maneuver and master through highs and lows, I just think women should have male leadership. That's what I believe. Doesn't take away from the woman, doesn't make me weak, doesn't make me absent-minded. You know, if anything, it strengthens me. You know, if anything, it adds to me, you know. And like I said, when I started, this may not be a popular topic, but it's what I want to talk about. And I'll probably talk about it again. I'm sure I will. So I do think that it's time for us to stop saying how much we don't need one another and start admitting how much we actually do need one another. You know, I was watching a video, a bunch of Black men sitting around talking about, oh, I don't need a woman to cook. I don't need her to clean my house. I don't need her to do this. I don't need her to do that. You know, it just doesn't make for an intelligent conversation. It doesn't. It doesn't make you look well spoken. Whether you're a male or a female, it just doesn't look good. It's not a, oh, let me get in this conversation. It's a turnoff. Whether it's coming from females saying they don't need males, or if it's coming from males who say they don't need females, it's an absolute turnoff. And what you're essentially saying is that, God, what you wanted for us, we don't want for ourselves. Basically, that's what you're saying. You're telling God you don't want for yourselves what He wanted for you. Because you got to think about it. If you go back to the beginning, Eve wasn't alone, Adam was. We were created to meet a need that the man had. Okay. I'll save that for next time, okay? But it's my belief that we need male leadership. And not because we can't do it on our own, because a lot of us have been doing it on our own for a long time. I got 12 years in the game of doing it on my own. Certainly nothing to brag about, because let me tell you something. Just these past few months have been hell on me financially. Hell. And I told my daughter, I said, if I had a strong man in my life, I know for a fact I would not be financially overwhelmed like I am. And because I believe in making plans, I believe in putting stuff down on paper where I can see it, I can read it, I can analyze it, I can dissect it, I can think about it. And if I'm doing all of that in my head as one person, think about two people coming together, analyzing, dissecting, putting stuff on paper, running numbers, making it all work together, as a unit versus individually. You know what I mean? So I do hope that something I've said made a little sense to you. I just kind of want to introduce this topic to you tonight. Because it's what I believe. It's what I believe. I believe that we would do much better as women, again, particularly Black women, if we had good male leadership in our lives, I do believe that. But because we have to have that tough exterior, a lot of women feel like they have to operate in masculine energy, tough exterior, you know, they feel they have to do that to survive. You know, I'm not, that it's just not me. I'm not going to pretend to be tough. I'm not going to pretend that I'm surviving. I'm not going to pretend that I don't need a man. I'm not going to pretend anything for anybody. You know the half of what I've been through. You wouldn't even ask me to pretend, you know. I live and I breathe and I move completely in my feminine self. You know, I was talking to someone. I said, if you're looking for, that hardcore independent boss bee and all that, I'm not her. Sorry, I'm not her. Even with all this, I'm not her. I'm not her. I'm not. Ladies, it's okay. It's okay to say, hey, I wish I had some help. Hey, I wish I had somebody to bounce this idea off of before I act on it. Maybe a good leader, a good male leader could show you a different way to do it. And maybe an easier way to do it. Can I give you like for instance, I'll use my parents. Okay. So like my mom, when she wanted something, she saw something come out, she wanted to get it. My dad would always tell her, Sarah, just wait. It's going to go on sale. He said, and I promise you, when you get it, it's still going to be new. He said, just wait for the sale. Wait for the sale. The sales paper came out on Sundays and Thursdays. And my mom would always say, okay, June, like clockwork, just like my dad said, to Sundays and Thursday, boom, the sales paper. And he'd go and get whatever it is she wanted, But if she did not have that strong male leadership, she would just go buy the first thing that came out, spending unnecessary money, But because my dad was a good leader, he was quite frugal now. He wasn't cheap, but he was frugal, and I think I have a lot of my dad's ways. So having a strong male leadership is essential. And like I said before, I know this is not a popular topic of conversation, particularly among Black women, but I'm not going for popularity. I'm going for honesty. I'm going for truth. I'm going for accountability. And, I don't have to be popular. I just want to be heard. I just want you guys to know that this, I am woman, hear me roar, I'm independent. I don't need, all of that doesn't work all the time. From what I see, it doesn't work, and it leaves you without many options, and so then when you have fewer options to choose from, and unfortunately you choose from over here in the bargain basement, then you start saying, well, Black men ain't no good. Y'all ain't this and y'all ain't that. Well, it's not that there ain't no good, and it's not that they ain't this and they ain't that. It's the fact that we as women sometimes, we don't take accountability to say, you know what, let me push back a little bit. Not because I'm less than, but let me just push back a little bit and let him take the lead, and if you have a good leader, he's going to automatically want your input. He's not going to leave you, he's just not going to walk off and leave you and look back and see if you're following him. He's going to include you in conversations. He's going to include you in decision making. But ultimately, he is there to guide you. This is just my belief, women. This is my belief. This is just the way I believe. It's the way I was raised. It's the way I believe. We need, I said I wasn't going to say we. I need to have strong male leadership in my life in order for me to feel secure. Yes, I've accomplished a lot, particularly as a single woman living with 2 types of brain tumors that are very active at this moment while I'm sitting here talking to you. You know, on the next show, I'm going to show you they're very active. I have live video to show you exactly what the tumor is doing right now while I'm sitting here. And it's not an easy thing for me to know, to hear, and to carry. It's not easy. I hear people tell me, oh, you make it look so easy. I can't believe you actually going. Yeah, this just how I was raised. I don't go to surgery without lipstick on. I don't care what they say I can and can't wear. You can take all my jewelry. You can have it all. But I'm going to wear my lipstick. Period. And when I come out of the anesthesia, from what I told, the first thing I ask is my lipstick still on? Okay. Baby, you can't get no more girly than that. You can't get no more feminine than that. So I'm not trying to be this bad bee boss lady. You know, that stuff played out. That's overrated. If you don't know who I am, if all of this don't impress you, hell, I don't know what else to do I don't know what to do to impress you. I'm not going to try to impress you. I need you more than I need you to be impressed. You know, I'm not trying to impress anybody. And I wish women get out of their minds that I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. Men don't care about that stuff. Most Black men are looking for willing partners. Willing here, willing here. Willing here and willing here. And yes, willing here. Can I get you to think the way I think sometimes? Can we come together on some of these thoughts that's up here? Can I get you to hear me out? Just hear me out sometimes without judgment. That's what men care about. Can I get you to see my vision for the family? Can I get you to see where I'm trying to go with it? Where I'm trying to take us? Can I get you to speak to me in such a way that you encourage me more than you discourage me? Can I get you to feel the rhythm of my heart? Here's the thing I say to anyone. Our heartbeat has a rhythm. And I think it's very important that whomever you choose as your leader, that your heart, you're able to sync your heart with his heart, so that if his heart goes, you sync your heart to his rhythm. You don't want your heart to go, and his heart goes. You got 2 different rhythms going. 2 different rhythms going at one time. But if you get in sync with one another, you got yourself a good leader. Again, it doesn't diminish you in any capacity. It doesn't. It doesn't diminish you in any capacity. It doesn't, ladies. It makes your life easier. That's what I miss. I miss having that. However, because I want it and because I know I need it, I don't accept it just from anybody. You have to be of certain quality, certain character, certain caliber, to lead me. So I do believe that if we can stop saying how much we don't need men, we'll begin to see how much we actually do need them. I can't speak for the men. I can only speak as a woman. I never want to be a man. I ain't gonna never act like no man. The little Facebook games they have to say, if you was a man, how would your face look? I don't play those kind of games. I don't get involved with it on TikTok, none of that, because I don't want nothing about a man. Oh, I like being a she, a her, a me. Those are my pronouns. So I think that if we have proper male leadership, then we'll see Black women start to exhale more. Not be so, I better say this right because y'all gonna get me. Not be so edgy, not be so rigid, softening up a little bit, push back a little bit, give in some, you know what I mean? But to the right leadership now, not just any leadership. Like my mom said, you just can't pick up someone on the side of the road, take it home and call it a husband. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Right leadership, intelligent leadership, open-minded leadership, classy leadership that makes sense, a wise leader, a prudent, a disciplined leader, all of those things. When you think about leadership, think about the things you actually want your leader to possess as characteristics, as skills, as traits, things of that nature. Think about that before you just throw yourself out in a barrel of I got myself. Before you just throw yourself out there in a barrel of, looky-loosies or whatever, so that's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about something that's been on my heart for probably the last 2 years, but I've been so afraid to talk about it because I didn't want I didn't want to be scrutinized. I didn't want to be ostracized. This one lady called me, I said something about men, and I got called a pick me. And at the time, I didn't know what it was till I asked a few questions. I asked some people a few questions, and I was like, well, what does that mean? And one of my good girlfriends, Lynn, she looked it up in Lynn fashion, and she told me what it meant. And I'm like, no, that's not me. Why would anybody call me that? And the only thing I had said was that, I made a post and I addressed the women and I said, well, ladies, instead of always thinking that we know what a man wants and just trying to make him take what we want him to have, why don't we just ask him, what do you really want? What is it you want from me? What is it you need from me? And that got me called a few names, from women, Black women. And so I kind of pushed back on that a little bit. And I was like, well, okay, that's not going to go over well. But, the longer I live and the more I see, the less I'm afraid of, I do believe that if the Lord has kept me here for 12 years after strokes, 2 different types of brain tumors, you guys would not believe the half of what I've gone through just by looking at me. I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. He gave me these platforms right now tonight. We're live streaming over 8 different platforms tonight. We're at 8 different platforms. And like I said, when I first started, I know this is not a popular topic, and I'm okay with not being popular, but it would be really disingenuous of me if I just talked about a bunch of stuff that didn't mean anything to me. My platform has to make sense to me. When I talk, it has to mean something to me. Whether, it gets the numbers or not, it's what it is. And I think that until we start needing each other again, we're going to continue this circle of chaos in our communities and in our culture. I don't need you, you don't need me. Well, I mean, if we don't need each other, then that's something y'all got to take up with God, because apparently God thought man did need woman. He thought that. So, I mean, if God thought it, who are we to change the dynamics of what God thought? I'm not that bold. You all do what you want to do. But I'm not that bold to tell God, I don't need a man. Although you created him first, although you created me for him, because he was alone. He needed somebody of his own kind to procreate with. He needed someone of his own kind to talk to. He needed someone of his own kind to love. So you created woman. I'm not bold enough to tell God, nah, you shouldn't have did that because we don't need each other. Y'all do what you want to do with that. Do what you want to do with it. Me, I ain't that bold. I do believe man was created because God had a need. Woman was created because God had a need, and then man had a need. You see that we're twofold created. And I think if we can just get our head wrapped around the uniqueness of who we are and why we are, we can come off all as, everybody want to be a bad bee and a boss bee and all of that. I mean, if that's your deal, that's your deal. But that's not, I'm not knocking anybody. God knows I wish I can be back where I was making the money I was making. Trust me, I wish. There are days I cry to be back there. But between having permanent brain damage, some stuff just don't come back. It doesn't come back. There's some things that I try to make come back. It doesn't come back. The fields that I was working in, legal field and all, some stuff doesn't come back. It won't come back. So I'm not telling women, don't go get yours. You know, you all call it chasing the bag or whatever. Um, you know, I'm not saying don't go get yours. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't be so focused on just you till you lose sight of why we were created in the first place. You don't want to get to be 40 and 50 and 60 and 70, and then you realize you've never even learned. I know this statement is going to get me in trouble. You never even learned how to serve a man. You know, you've never learned how to walk hand in hand with him. You've not learned how to submit to him. You know, you've not learned how to love him and care for him and respect him. You've not learned how to allow him to cover you, whether it be spiritually, financially, physically. You've not learned how to get up under him and let him cover you with his body if necessary. And so that's what I'm talking about. There are things that are put in place for us as women, but we lose those things because we get out of place. Because, and I get it. Well, we have to do that because men are not in their place. I agree. That's not the argument. I promise you. That's not the argument. That's not the debate. I promise you. I get it. What I'm saying is there are men that have the heart of God, that understand why they were created. There are men that understand they were created first because God said so. That makes them good leaders. He didn't tell Eve, you go name them. What would Eve look like trying to herd a bunch of smelly animals on a boat? I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. What would Eve have looked like going through the garden trying to name a bunch of smelly animals? She didn't even have no business over there talking to the serpent. Well, Adam shouldn't have left her alone. No, she should have done whatever she saw him doing. She wasn't following the leader. It's really simple when you think about it. We make it complex. It doesn't have to be complex. You know, and you think about it like this. If you were pushing a boulder, a big rock, okay? And at a certain point, it starts to go, you know, like an incline. As a woman, it's going to be difficult for you. You can be in the best shape. You can lift weights. You can do all of that. But if a man comes along and he says, well, you move over, let me get the bigger part of it. And you get right there and you push that side. And we push this thing up the incline together. Wouldn't that be better than struggling, straining, trying? Wouldn't that be better? I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just the way I think. I just think that men are supposed to lead. And I think that women should allow them to lead. All of this came about, like I said, because I've been wanting to talk about it for probably the last 2 years. But I allowed fear to enter in when I got called a couple of names. I tried it out, and then, I was called a couple of names and said that I was just saying that, trying to impress men and stuff like that. Say I was just trying to get men's attention. Girl, please. If I had 99 problems, that wouldn't be one of them. That ain't one of them. Just FYI. If I say it, it's because I believe it. I believe women need male leadership. I believe that. And I hear women say, Oprah never got married, da 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 da. Oprah always has Stedman, though. Think about that. Think about that. She may not have ever gotten married, but she's always had Stedman in her life. May not be the best example, but that's what y'all like to use. Y'all like to use her as your go-to professional woman who went out and got the bag or whatever. The most successful women that I've studied, they have good male leadership. They do. You may not see them all the time. You might not hear from them all the time. You may not hear about them all the time. Do a little research. Do a little research. And you may find him sitting in the back in the corner, just watching and observing, making sure everything goes right. A good male leader, he will never come in and take your shine. If anything, he'll come in and polish you up so you can shine brighter. Yeah. Yeah. He's not going to come in just to take away your shine. He's going to come in and polish you up some, help you shine brighter, take some of the load off of you, put your mind at ease. I don't know about you, but that's what I need. That's what I need. One lady said something to the effect of something about a night, like a night that saved people. Something she said. I don't know what she meant, but whatever she meant, it didn't sound right. It sounded more offensive than it did anything else. She said something to the effect of, sometimes Black women are waiting for somebody to come and rescue them or save them or something like that, she said. My pushback on that is that, well, if Black women are waiting for someone to come save them or rescue them, what's the problem? And what's the problem? I don't know what that says. Are okay. What does that say? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Instagram, what does that say? Are you asking me if I'm okay? Look like Davis might be your last name. Are you asking me if I'm okay? I'm okay. I'm okay, yeah. I'm fully functional. you know, you know, guys, just like I said, I know this is not a popular topic, and it's probably not um, what you're used to hearing from Black women, but there's no cookie cutter um, pattern that says we all have to be the same. And I've been through enough stuff lately. I have no more pretense in me at all. I don't have any pretense in me. If I tell you I need something, that's exactly what I need. If I tell you I don't know something, I don't know it. If I tell you I don't understand something, I absolutely don't understand it. If I ask you to explain something further to me, it's because I really need you to explain something further to me. Period. I don't have any room for pretense. I don't have any room for, you know, making you guess. I don't want to guess, put it on the table. If I like it, I might nibble on it. If I don't like the way it tastes, I'm not going to eat it. That's just what it is. When you've gone through the things I've gone through, it changes you in ways you would never imagine. It changes you in ways you never would have thought you would change. It changes you in ways that you can't revert back to your old way of thinking. You can't revert back to your old way of being, your old way of talking, your old way of responding to things, your old way of handling things. It changes you. You cannot go 12 years of this type of journey that I'm on and it not change you. Life changes you. Death changes you. I've seen them both up close and in person. It changes you. I saw myself die so many times. Like, I knew I was dying. I knew it. I saw it. I felt it. I got documentation to prove it. It changes you. And so, what I thought 5 years ago is not what I think now. So now all of my layers have been pulled back. At the core, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I saw coming up. This is how I was raised. I'll never forget, a guy told me, because you have such old-fashioned values, you're probably going to be by yourself. I said to him, no, I'm not going to be by myself. I won't be with you, but I won't be by myself. That's the best way I could say it, and still kind of remain respectful to him. So I'm going to close now and I'm going to come back. I'll be back. I want to start coming on as much as possible, but you guys know I wrestle fatigue because of the radiation to my brain. It was just last year. My daughter often remind me, Mom, this was just last year. Your last surgery was just July 7th, 2022. You know, she reminds me, radiation was just in April. She reminds me of these things. When I get frustrated with myself, when I get frustrated that I'm tired all the time, when I get frustrated that I'm fatigued, when I get frustrated that I have to cancel a show because I got this horrible migraine or what have you, she often has to remind me. Sometimes she'll see me cry. She'll be like, Mom, don't cry, but I do believe, this is my belief, even with all of that I have going on, I do believe that God has strategically, because you guys know what I call God, he's the master strategist. I do believe he has strategically and is strategically preparing or has prepared the right male leadership for my life. Not just anybody. Anybody just can't come in my life and lead me. Not because I think so highly of myself, but based on my relationship with God. I just can't have anybody come and be over me. My sister said this to me, my blood sister. She said this to me. She said to me, she says, Benita, she said, the things that you've gone through and the faith that you have in God, she said, you know God in a way that most people will never know him. She said that to me. And when she said it, it was like I could feel like fire but it was a soothing fire. You know how you get real cold and you get in front of your fireplace and it was a soothing fire when she said that to me. And so that's why I say, and I stand firm on what I say, can't just be anybody. Based on my relationship with God, the fact that I will walk through those valleys and shadows of death, and I had to go through those without fearing evil. So it's more than just words. It's more than just recitals to me. It has become my lifestyle. It is my livelihood. It is my lifeline. So I understand fully it takes a certain special someone to come in my life and lead me. And I patiently wait on that. And so in the meantime, I'm doing my best to be in a position where I can spread my message and hopefully bring us back together. We already know what the problem is. We're too divided. So now let's work on some solutions. Somebody got to give in. Got to start somewhere. And I think if we go back to the beginning and everybody realizes why they were created, the purpose, the promise, all of that, I think we can get back on the right track. More specifically, I think that Black women will stop having to feel so weighed down. It's not fair to make a man jump through hoops, walk the high wire, swallow swords, be the ringmaster of a circus that he did not bring to town. That's not fair. Because you've dealt with a bad person before, we all have. Most men have dealt with a bad woman before. Most women have dealt with a bad man. Don't make the next person pay for it. If you got to be healed, get healed. Go to therapy. I stay in therapy. You know why? Because I go through a lot. I go through a lot. And I know a lot. So with great knowledge comes great accountability. We're going to talk about that word accountability perhaps the next time. But we're still going to be talking about women need leadership. Okay? I hope I've said something to help you. If not, just to let you know where I stand, particularly to those who have been following me on my journey. So thank you all for tuning in. We did lose TikTok. But we did get we got 3 videos for them. So I have enough to upload for them tonight, but everybody else, you get the full show. Okay. So I'm going to log out and I'm going to go get ready for bed and find me something good to watch on television. Those of you that have not, I need you to go join my, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay. I'm almost at halfway at 1,000. I need 1,000 subscribers. Okay. 1,000 subscribers so I can start getting paid from YouTube. Okay. That is my goal, to monetize all of my platforms. As I told you earlier, because I've had so many strokes and so many surgeries and so much done on my brain, there's just some stuff that won't ever come back. So I have to find ways to make sure I can take care of the things I need to take care of. So when you see me on live, send stars. Go to my, wherever you see my logo, Live Talk with Vanita Bradley. Make sure you follow me. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think I'm even on Snapchat. I haven't learned how to use it just yet. My granddaughter's still teaching me, but I am on Snapchat. Live Talk. I don't know what my handle is on Snapchat, but I'm there. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. What else? Oh, if you're 40 and above and you're ready for love, I started a new group, singles group on Facebook. Look for it. It's 40 and above, ready for love. Go ahead and join the group. Answer the questions. Join the group. Start some discussions. I want to talk tomorrow. I might post it tonight. About, do men really care about women that have cellulite? You might say, that is so crazy. Why would you ask that? Because I want to know. You know, it's one thing for a bunch of women to sit around and talk about what we think men want or what we think they think or what we think they talk about. But it's a different thing. Why don't we just ask them? Why don't we just ask the questions and let them answer? You know? So I think that's going to be one of my first questions, because I want to know. I want to know what men think about cellulite. What's too much? You know, is there a rule to it or whatever? You know, I want to know. So make sure you join 40 and above, ready to love. That's where we'll have those kind of discussions. Anything related to the show, you want to join Live Talk with Benita Bradley, you'll see it's called the social media something. Just look for the name. Purple logo. I got on a purple dress with pearls. I think I'm like this, some kind of way I'm posed. But just look for it, okay? On TikTok, look for the same thing. Or look for a picture of me. You know, I'm going to look the same. If you meet me in person, I'm going to look the same, probably just better in person. You know, I don't do filters. You know, what you see is what you get. You like it, good. You love it, better. You don't, bye. You know, that's what it is. All right, guys, I love you all. And remember to be kind to one another. If you can't be kind to people, just keep it moving. Walk on by them, you know, walk by them. All right, so I will see you guys. I'm going to try to come on more and more. I want to be able to come on every day. I would come on every day. I've been researching supplements that I can take. I really would like something I can either drink to fight the fatigue, because I already take a lot of medicine. So right now, all of my supplements are gummies except for maybe 3 of them. But what I really would like to have something in maybe liquid form that I could drink that would help with the fatigue. That would be excellent if I can find that. Okay. So if you know anything, you hear anything, inbox me and let me know. If you have my number, call me. Next time I'm going to tell you about my my life coaching business, okay? I'm going to tell you about that. But I wanted to get some preliminary things out of my head first. So on the, we do have guests coming on the, get my readers, on October 12th. October 12th, we'll have a young lady that was at the January 6th insurrection. She was actually there. She is she's a game changer. She's a protester. She'll be with us on the 12th of October. And then on October 25th, we have another guest coming. Hold on. Let's see. October 25th, we have another guest coming. We also have a guest coming to talk to us about their transition. So I'm not going to tell you which guest that is, because I want you guys to be kind, and I want you to allow me to run my platform the way I see fit. Okay, because everybody has a story, and I would like to make sure we're a safe place for people to come and tell their story. Okay. All right. So keep it locked in. Set your notifications. It's going to get pretty wild here in a little bit. All right. Good night, everybody.